Alright, so new skill builder changes and new addition, new blocks have been added, and the update log is actually huge for skill builder. You can see new timeline block, add a new property and stuff. So look, the thing here is that I will try my best to explain everything as I can, okay? Like, you cannot expect like almost everything to be explained properly. Like, there might be few things which I could not explain properly because like it's just confusing. It is just confusing, okay? It's just really confusing, okay? Yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna stop talking and now I'm gonna explain every single thing. So they added melee trail to visual block, and you can just like on your right hand or left hand, you know, like left hand, right hand. Alright, so they added field of view. If you don't know what this is, it's basically FOV of yours. So basically how you can use it is that you use it as an amount, okay? So basically if I put it as 5, it's gonna change my FOV. You can see 100. It changed my FOV. But if I put it as a minus, it's gonna make me zoom in. Yeah. This is how it works, by the way. Yeah. That's so cool, right guys? Yeah, so you can use the field of view as amount. It doesn't work with textures at all. The texture only works with mesh, by the way. Now they also have a screen color. You can change the screen color to like, you know, you can just like use the color here and like change the screen color to like black or white. You wanna make an impact frame, then use the screen color. Yeah, that's it. Alright, so okay. So the mesh part is basically you can use it to make custom weapons, okay? So for that, let's go to Roblox page real quick, okay? Now since we're in the Roblox page, just go and search for items or weapons and go to creator store. Then you see this model plugin audio font, so just go to mesh parts, like choose your model, or like you could also create your model in studio and like pay and like post it in the mesh parts. You know, you could do it using a tutorial, but if I do it, it's gonna be longer, so I won't do it. You can just find a tutorial for that. So for example, I'm gonna use a Toji. Now you see you see this Toji sword. Now press this. Do not copy this at all, okay? Now press the 3 dot icon. You see this mesh ID and mesh texture, okay? We only need these two, okay? Now if I copy mesh ID, then go back to my Roblox. Where can we copy paste the mesh ID? So you can copy paste the mesh ID into the amount right there. Now copy the texture ID too, like you see it like below the mesh ID. Paste it in the texture one, okay? Now you see, now also for some mesh parts, it doesn't work for all the ones. I don't know why, or maybe it's a glitch or what, but it doesn't work for every single one, okay? So it's not really my fault. Yeah, but the thing about this is that even if you add one, it still doesn't make it better because you gotta like change the size of it, okay? And if I put it as in my left hand, you see that you can see the sword now, but the thing is you gotta change the rotation and stuff, which I can do from here. You see that it's on perfect size. Now you can see that's on the perfect size. But yeah, okay, so how do you want it on your hand forever? For that, you can like go to time. I'll just put a certain time for it. So now you can see the weapon is in my hand now. Now for that, but also for that, you gotta use a good you know, like Nanami or some sword guy, you know. So yeah, that's how mesh work. That's how you can like copy paste the weapon, custom item stuff. So yeah, that's what it does. Now let's talk about projectile tags, okay? So what does projectile tag do? So for that, you need to have VFX and hitbox. Okay, so what does projectile tag do? It lets you attach. It lets you attach to blocks, okay? Look, you know how branches work? It's just the exact same thing, okay? But it lets you attach to that VFX, okay? Now for that, basically I'm just gonna name this as 11. Then I'm gonna go to, okay, I'm gonna get the visual block. Yeah, there we go. And now make sure the visual block is below the projectile. It's like after the projectile, okay? Then I'm gonna choose clash. There we go, clash. Then I'm just gonna go down all the way down. You see this projectile tag. I'm just gonna name this at 11, same as the projectile tag. You see that in the projectile. Then then yeah, that's pretty much it. Then you can like just go and increase, then you can like set the position, rotation, and size. You can like change the size. You can also stretch it, by the way. You can like, by the way, you can also stretch the size, but I think, yeah, you can stretch the size using the XYZ geometry, if you know that. Here's the thing, by the way. Now, what does speed do? Now, basically, speed lets you like help how fast you want the projectile to work and how fast it should travel, okay? So if you put it as 0, it's just gonna work as the hitbox, like it's not gonna move at all, okay? But if you put it as like 500 or 1000, then it's gonna like move faster, okay? Now time, you know, self-explanatory, you know, like you can just like time for how long it's gonna be there. But I think for that you can also like, you should time the VFX as well, you know, yeah. Then projectile, okay. Now projectile is basically like hitbox, okay? Every single thing is like the hitbox. Now what does stun animation do? So stun animation is basically like if you hit them, it's gonna do an animation. It's gonna do an animation to it, okay? Now everything is just basically the same thing. Clear knockback, hit user, hit ragdoll. Now aim last hit. Aim last hit is basically the same thing as last hit, but for that you gotta aim it at someone. You gotta aim it at the person, okay? Just like that, like you just have to aim at them. Now what does continue do? Okay, I'm just gonna explain the continue later. Now branch, you know how branches work, you know how branch target works, like basically works on the target or the dummy, you know. Now branch collided, I don't know much about this though, but all I know is that it works as a vol variant or something. I don't know much, like it works with the variants or like collided, I don't know. Now what does filter interval works with? It basically like clears all the filters if they're in the way. Like you can also use it as a multi-hit for people like dummies. I don't know how this works properly, but yeah, that's what it does though. Now you also gotta choose if you wanna like use hitbox for the projectile. You can like just tag it right here. And then the stuff, you can do stuff with it, like just set up the hitbox and stuff. Okay, I'm not gonna set up the hitbox though, but I'm just gonna do an example for it, okay? Now I'm gonna get a dummy. Wait, actually, yeah, let me get a dummy real quick. Okay. Now if I use the stuff now, it should work. Yeah, you see, you gotta set the position to 0 for that. Yeah, so it should work from here. Now you see how it's hitting the player. But what does continue do? So it basically lets you continue the projectile even if it hit the person or not. Look, see how it's going all the way there? Yeah, like that. Yeah, so that's how continue do. So that's how projectile works. So basically projectile lets you like move, like it moves the hitbox now. So that's what projectile do, okay? Now how does grab work? Basically, now you see this limb and target limb. Now limb is like which limb are you gonna use for the grab thing. So basically like, you know, like how Sukuna uses his left hand. So limb, so it's gonna use our limb. It's like which hand is going to start grabbing the people. So I'm gonna use left hand. Now target limb. The target limb is like the opponent's limb, okay? The player's limb, the opponent, the one you're fighting, okay? So which limb do you want to grab there, okay? So for the example, I want to grab their head or torso. Let me just do torso, okay? And then that's it. I'm gonna rotate this to like 5, so it should like work. Now time, yeah, how long you want it to be. Last hit, you know how it works, okay? Alright, so okay, for example, I'm just gonna do this. I put the position as 100, so you know it should work. So you could see the clear vision of it. If I like hit him, oh, where'd he go? Okay, okay. Okay, see, so that's how grab works, okay? Okay, now let's talk about counter, okay? So for counter, you do need a branch for it, okay? So yeah, branch. Okay, let's go to the branch one, okay? So for counter, you see this all counter thing. Now, attack type, you know how attack type works, okay? It's just that adaptation. Now, time is basically for how longer you want the counter to be active for, you know? Stun, don't need to explain. Now, cancel enemy is basically like if you want your enemy to be cancelled, like to cancel their moveset, you know. Then branch. Now branch is like when, like which move it should use, okay? like once you get hit, like which move you should use. So you should like, I use body repel for it, okay? Then target, branch target is like, it's not necessary to use this. Like basically, when you get hit, so it will let the opponent use a move or like an animation, okay? So that's what target does, branch target. So let me just do an example for it, and let me show you. So you can see the attacking dummy right there. Okay. See? Yeah, you see that? So yeah, that's how counter works, okay? So that's how counter works, okay? Now, what does state do? Okay, so state is basically like giving a state to your opponent or to yourself, okay? You can do that by the last hit, by the way, I think. Yeah, you can do it. Or like giving a state to someone. So like basically like giving a state like stun, iframe, or no, or like they can't do any M1s, or no sprint, no jump, you know, like giving them a state. So basically like for how long the state you want it to be. So like that's time. Cancel on end. So what does cancel on end do? So if you press it on, it's basically I think. So if you press it on, so once the move is over, like till the end, then the state is going to not work anymore. Like it's gonna stop now. But if you turn it off, then add a wait to it, then I think it's gonna stop after the wait, okay? That's what it does, okay? Now, disable burst. So, you know, like, just disable burst to the opponent or to yourself, you know? So yeah, that was all the thing. Now, they also added animations like fade in and fade out to make transitions, you know, like custom smooth transition to your animation to make it smoother now. Now, they added properties, which is no cancel. So what does no cancel do? It's basically a strong armor. Like, basically if you do a move, like for example, I'm gonna do a move, and if someone hits me, I'm not gonna like, it's not like an iframe thing, but I'm still gonna get hit, but I will not stop doing the move. You see, like the part when the move happened, but it still happened even though I got hit. So yeah, you used to get damage, but yeah, the move will still be active when you use it. But yeah, by the way, it doesn't, like, the when does it work is like in the middle of the move, like not on the startup of the move or anything, like, but when the move is active, like in the middle of it, okay? You need a longer move for it, okay? Now look, I can't explain how tag works though, because you see, I don't know how tag works at all. Even though Frost showed a tutorial, a small guide, a picture of how tag work. So if any of you know, let me know in the comments. I will pin that message, by the way. Okay, so if you know anything about how other stuff work properly, you can I can just like pin your message. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys understood everything, like the stuff I tried my best to like understand. Okay, so yeah, let me know if I do miss something, or like let me know if I couldn't explain stuff properly. So I like, just comment down below if you know everything properly. Like I'm just gonna pin that message. So yeah, that was pretty much it, and thanks for watching.